I hope you can see the screen. Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Karan, can you see it? Vinayak?
Ma'am.
Fine. So this was the last point which we saw yesterday. That was the customer communication. When we are in the process of understanding the value uh, of our customer, this is how the communication plays an important role. So when we are acquiring the new customers, how effective our communication is plays very important role. So effective CRM depends on the quality client communication. So this slide basically explained us the importance of communication, which can increase your popularity with the clients, improve how trustworthy your clients see you, and can make tricky situations easier. So basically, for any relationship, how effectively you communicate, be that relationship is with your customers or maybe with your suppliers, the clear and effective communication is really very helpful. Starting today with the concept of KPI. We have heard this term. Earlier it was, uh, uh, the term is not similar, but then from organization's point of view, KRAs was something which was famous, key result areas. And so when we used to get, we used to, get appraised for what work we did in past year, and whatever new targets we used to get, those were our KRAs, key result areas, where we have to work. Now, similarly, it is like KPI, key performance indicator. More or less, it is the same. Now, this key performance indicator for your customer acquisition program. So, how important these KPIs are. So, basically, these are indicating how you have to perform. So, we can say that it's a roadmap, or it gives us some kind of inputs towards heading in our progress, heading towards acquiring new customers. So as I said, it's key performance indicator. Now what it is, what KPIs are? It is a measurable value. You can measure, you can quantify, like 15%, 10%, 5%, which is measurable. Based on previous year, now you have to show an increase of 5%. We have last year's figures, so we can very well calculate how much would be this year's figures. So that is why it is a measurable value, which demonstrates how effectively a company is achieving its business objectives. So basically, we are measuring what we have to show, or how we have to perform. When we quantify it, it becomes our KPI. Now, to compute the cost to acquire a customer, that is cost to acquire customers, called as CAC. Take entire cost of sales and marketing over a given period. Or maybe that period could be 1 year or 5 year, like that. 5 years becomes too much. So it is 1 year only. So whatever cost you spend, or whatever cost you incur towards selling and marketing. Now, when I say selling, you are talking about distributors, commission, the cost involved to make your goods reachable to each and every corner of the area. So all such costs are being taken into consideration. Your marketing cost, uh, whatever cost you are incurring towards social media promotion or print advertisement, radio advertisement, maybe you are conducting a survey. So everything you take into consideration, all the heads under these departments, you take into consideration, including salaries and other headcount related expenses. So all minute expenses we take into consideration here, and we divide it by number of customers that you actually acquire in that period. So expenses divided by the number of new customers uh, which you have acquired. So this equation, or this is the result, and I call it as cost to acquire a customer, CAC. The right customer acquisition KPIs for the organization. Now, usually speaking, how I derive or how I design KPIs, key performance indicators for acquiring new customers. Now it depends on organization or to organization, but roughly speaking, it depends on individual goals. Individual goals, uh, company knows how its employees are, or let's say the marketing department knows how the executives are, salespeople know how their sales teams are. So based on the individuality, based on individual goals, it is calculated. Also, whom you are targeting. Hmm. जैसे कि if the company is from B2B case or B2C case, then target audience differs, and so are the KPIs. Also, the processes which you take into consideration for acquiring the customers. Now, for example, the B2B companies might focus on lead quality, business to business. So, their main focus is on quality of leads because the number of customers are going to be lesser compared to B2C, because I'm selling it to other business entities. So if a software company is going to sell software products, and if those products are, they have got some specification, for example, banking products. Now the customers are going to be limited. Now, company like Big Bazaar will not be using banking software. So I have to just roughly I'm giving this example. So I have to specifically target the banks. Now in banks also, those small cooperative banks or जो कि क्या बोलते हैं उनको, जो पतपेड़ी जैसे जो small banks which are there, they are not going to have the software whose cost runs into lakhs of rupees. So such customers I won't be able to target. So as it is, my number of customers are lesser here. That is why the B2B companies are focusing on the quality of leads. They are taking such parameters into consideration, and accordingly they design KPI. They come up with KPIs for acquiring customers. While the B2C companies might prioritize lead quantity in business to customers. If customers, let's say, in case of beauty products, I have to take into consideration the female and male segment. If I have a product which is meant for all, suppose talcum powder is something which is meant for all, though the usage wise there is a difference, but it is meant for all. Maybe a moisturizer or something like Vaseline, for example, which can be applied or which can be used by everyone. So when such is the situation for a B2C company, then I have to prioritize the quantity of customers which I have. So these different goals also mean the way they acquire leads is will likely be different. So how you are acquiring such customers, B2B है, how you are going to acquire these customers, they also differ. So that is what we have to say about KPI. So usually when we have to design KPIs for the organization for specifically acquisition, customer acquisition, I need to take into consideration my goals, individual goals, whom I am going to target, and how the process of this could be. Now, these are some important points to remember about acquisition. Now, customer acquisition metrics you need to be tracking. Now, if I have to find out how this customer acquisition going on, I have to have some base with me. So these are few things, or we can say these are few factors I understand acquisition better. So I take into consideration actual CAC, customer acquisition cost, customer lifetime value, and churn rate. Now these are all related to the customers you are going to acquire. Now how it is? Let us see that. Customer acquisition cost, we just now have seen how to compute. So we are taking all the costs of sales and marketing over a given period of time. So sales cost plus marketing cost, the minute expenses and money which you are putting into, all are taken into consideration, including the salary and wages and any incentives which you are offering to the sales people, to the marketing people, executives, etc. So we are combining, clubbing all those costs divided by the number of new customers, the number of new customers which you acquire in a given period of time. For example, roughly, if this sales and marketing cost turns out to be, let's say, 10,000, now in a given period of time, let's say in 1 year's time, I acquire, let's say, some 1,000 new customers. So how this calculation is 10,000, the cost divided by 1,000, the new customers which I acquire. So 10,000 divided by 1,000. So actual CAC would be how much? It would be 10. So this is how the calculations are. So when I'm understanding this customer acquisition, this is how I track how much cost I am spending on acquiring the new customers. Then something called as CLTV, customer lifetime value. It can also be called as CTV. Very important now wherever we talk about CRM. If at all, maybe you are appearing for an interview or something, and if the question comes about CRM, now the interviewer is definitely going to ask about CTV. So it is the most important concept of CRM, I can say. Customer lifetime value, value of single customer from moment he enters, uh, in your organization, or let's say you contact him, the moment you contact him up to the time he leaves your organization. So you acquire him, you contact him, he starts doing business with you, he stays with you for a period of time. Maybe he prefers somebody else over you. He discontinues doing business with you and he moves on to the another party. So the moment he leaves you, or the moment he starts not doing business with you, this time is called as customer lifetime value. So this could be for 1 year or 2 year, but this is how you understand it. So when he enters and the time he leaves, this time period is called as customer lifetime value. So calculating this CLTV, customer lifetime value, helps in distinguishing who my क्या बोलते हैं जिसको हाई नेटवर्क इंडिविजुअल्स HNI क्लाइंट्स हैं जिनसे मुझे from whom I earn lot of, or I get lot of money, or I earn lot of business, and who are the regular ones who are just with me, who are जिनको बोल सकते हैं low value clients, जिनसे the ones who are doing business, but then the amount amount of business which they do with me is not that great compared to the ones who are giving me good amount of business. So through this CLTV, I can in this way differentiate the kind of customers, and accordingly I can customize my programs, or I can customize my marketing campaigns. For example, I come to know that the customer entered. If you have noticed, these banks have this nomenclature as dormant customers or active customers, or maybe there is another category that they have just opened the account but they have not even started the transactions. So why I do such classification? So dormant are one who once or twice or thrice they did some kind of transactions but now they have stopped. So that can mean that they are maybe out of क्या बोल सकते हैं, maybe out of country or something, that is why they are not doing business, or they might have lost the suppose internet banking ID password, they might not have renewed or opted for a new one, or they might have forgotten their what that account number, or there could be such reasons. So once I find out the reason of this dormancy, I can come up with solution. I can make again those dormant customers active, and I can generate business out of them. So this is why these differentiation is, and that can be found by taking into consideration the lifetime value, because I'm calculating this CLTV right from he enters and he leaves. So those who have entered, maybe it is 3 years old or 5 years old, how their um, the kind of business they are doing with me. When I take these things into consideration, I can very well segment and accordingly I can suggest the campaigns, appropriate campaigns. Are you understanding why we are carrying out these activities? Hmm? Then there is third parameter or third matrix that is called as churn rate. Now, what is this churn rate? Percentage of buyers opting out of your product within certain time frame. Buyers were there, customers were there, and some of them had gone. Now they are not doing business with you. So uh, I can find out within a year's time, within 2 years' time, within 5 years' time, these were the number of people, or these were the number of customers who were with me, and now they are not. So this churn rate, finding out this is called as churn rate. Now this can uh, 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 reason of finding out this factor churn rate is it makes or it gives me some kind of insights so that I can find out why this is happening, why customers were there earlier and now why they are not doing business with me. There could be lots of reasons. Maybe the kind of relationship which was supposed to be nurtured between us, it didn't happen. Customer did not get enough support from company. Customer was never contacted once he was on board with us. He was dissatisfied or he did not get enough support, technical support from our side. So there are these reasons. Now once you find out these reasons, it becomes easy for you to flush out the ones who are negative too. You can work on them. Maybe if you find that the support team is not performing well, maybe you can give them proper training, or maybe you can replace them, or you can give them enough time so that they show progress, or maybe you can take the necessary corrective actions. But to take such actions, you need to have some proof with you. You need to have some information with you, and churn rate in this way gives you this information. So maybe next time, if you find out the flaw was with your product team, or the flaw was with your um, support team, technical support team, so you can work on that technical team, and a better technical support team can later on help you in acquisition. So once you understand the flaws, corrective actions can be taken, and in this way the system can be improved. So three customer acquisition matrices you need to know for tracking. So we knew how to calculate the acquisition cost, what is customer lifetime value, once they come on board till the time they leave you, till the time they leave the company. So this duration is called as lifetime value. And then we have churn rate, number of buyers who are opting out of our product within a certain time frame. Sometimes it could be because of the value of the products. Maybe the products are towards higher side. Customers say that maybe we cannot afford them. That is why it's better not to do business with you. Then there are various touch points, customer touch points. Now, when you are acquiring your customers, there are ways to tackle these customers, and these ways are nothing but the touch points. So what these touch points are? Various stages or points where your brand interacts with customers from start to end. See, now these all activities are for acquiring. Hmm? So keep this customer acquisition in mind, and then we'll study all these things. You will find the relevance. I have to acquire somebody. Imagine yourself as a person who is standing at Big Bazaar billing counter and you are trying to sell something. So you are trying to sell something because you want to acquire that customer to you. Hmm? जैसे कि वो क्लब महिंद्रा के एग्जीक्यूटिव्स होते हैं, they are trying to sell those packages to us. So what do they say? We won't take much of your time. Just give us your email ID or contact number and the preferred time. Our sales executives will in turn give you a call. So this is the only information they are trying to gather. And what touch points they have chosen here is, let's say, the Big Bazaar cash counter. So imagine this situation of acquiring customers by touching these touch points. So these are various stages or points where your brand interacts with the customers from start to end. So these touch points are divided into three buckets or into three levels: before purchase, during purchase, and after purchase. Now, uh, there is an infographic which explains the importance of touch points. Let me just see whether I can show it to you. Just give me one moment. We'll continue. Meantime, it is getting loaded. It will take some time to open that website. So meantime, we'll just explain these touch points. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So before purchase, during purchase, and after purchase. So these are the stages. So before purchase, now you have to create or you have to acquire. Now the customer is not no customer has not yet started his journey with you, but we have to touch or we have to be in touch with that customer. So how we will do it? That is before purchase. So it is like pre-publicity, or we can say it is like the various options which are available. Like you have blog, you have social media handles, you have जैसे कि YouTube है, Facebook है. So you have talked about yourself on these platforms. So if the customer has to purchase, let's say, TV, or let's say if I have to purchase garments, apparels. So this process begins much before. So that is called as before purchase. So as a customer, when I have to purchase a TV or let's say some apparels, what usually I do, being in this era, I simply go to website. अगर consumer durables है तो first I'll check it on Flipkart and Amazon for sure, without knowing anything else. So by knowing or by visiting such websites, I come to know a lot of things about such products. Specifications pata chalte hai. I also can see the reviews. I can also see sometimes demonstrations. Sometimes I just assume some small videos or clippings are there related to the product. So I get a lot of information, such needed information. Maybe I can check the other websites also where the comparisons are being shown. How this is better, price wise, which one is good, how other options are there. So such information, comparative pricing, everything I can do over internet. In case of apparels also, uh, they can guide me with some related related stuff, maybe related to the size. I get educated related to the other brands, how to wash, how to take care of the garment, when that delivery can happen at my area. So all these things are being taken care of, and that happens before purchase. And so touch points which are used here are the website, then there are social media, हाँ, so social media में सब कुछ आ जाएगा, Facebook will come, YouTube will come, Insta will come, website, company website will come, everything. Now during purchase, now customer now decides that okay, now so and so, let's say LG is what I have uh, finalized that I will go for. Now I check which one is the nearest location where the product is available. Again, ये भी एक touch point here, and I find out that Vijay Sales near to so and so is having the good stock, or let's say the latest stock of the products, and it is not at a faraway place also from my place. So I think uh, I finalize one day and I go there. Now during purchase, during my visit to Vijay Sales, I even ask about, let's say, some after sales service, when the delivery will actually take place. I talk about mode of payment. I talk about guarantee, warranty. Though I have this information, but this is what during the purchase I talk with the executives, and maybe they give me some other information as well. Since I have gone to that shop, I check on, I just roam around and I see other things as well. Maybe I check on mobile phones or latest laptops, or maybe the accessories, something like that. So this thing happens during purchase. So during purchase, my touch points are my sales executives, my shelves, the store layout. So these are my touch points during purchase. After purchase, once the purchase has been done, I get a challan where the details are being mentioned, payment, hua hai nahi hua hai, those details are being mentioned, and there is also this customer care number which they have displayed. I can anyways find it out again over net as well, but then this is the duty which these executives are doing. So after purchase, the touch points are, maybe I receive a call that on so and so date at so and so time, the delivery person is going to visit your place and they are going to give you demonstration as well, installation and demonstration. So they confirm the day and date, the executive visits, he does everything. He अभी हो सकता है कुछ over these tablets also, he tells you to sign, put your electronic signature so that the delivery is confirmed, and such things are happening. Maybe after 2 3 days again you receive a call from company about how the product is performed. So this is how the touch points are. So this is how the various stages the brand is interacting or communicating with the customers from start to end. So the journey of purchase began from visiting the website, and it ended in actual delivery and getting a call from an executive, call center executive, asking about the performance of the product. Then we have customer equity. Customer equity, more loyal the customers are. Some simply, if I have to understand what this equity, customer equity is, so it is talking about the loyalty. So more loyal the customers are, higher is the equity. Meaning, it represents the value that the current and future potential customers will provide to a company during the entire lifespan of their relationship. So it is basically an expression which results into loyalty. So current customers, they purchase your product, but if they next time also insist that I'll go for the same company's product, now this is because of the equity, the customer equity which they have. It can have, we have other equities also. These are the components. I mean, the things which we just now discussed. That is called as brand equity. So you are extending your loyalty or extend your equity in form of next time also considering the same company. So customer equity का एक component होता है, that is brand equity. So this concept of equity encourages, customer equity encourages the organizations to consider their customers as one of the major sources of cash flow in present and in future. So customer equity and loyalty, they go hand in hand. There is a thin line of differentiation. This when you have customers and those customers are with you for a longer period of time, those customers are showing their loyalty by purchasing the other products of the same company. It is out of this equity, it is out of their loyalty towards the company, it is out of their satisfaction towards your product. So when I have more such customers, more loyal customers, my equity is higher because more customers will show higher equity. Chances are more that 10 such loyal customers will purchase same company's products 10 times more than the other customers. And it can also be used to estimate your future marketing return on investment, because now why I'm considering this customer equity in finding out ROI, because I have the set of customers who are my loyal customers. So I know for sure that such customers will definitely think about me before thinking about my competitors. As I said, customer equity components. How can we find out the equity or related terminologies of customer equity? It is called as value equity, brand equity, and relationship equity. Value equity, customer assessment based on the offer, price, and its convenience. I mean, uh, this happens in case of MACD, for example. Now, customer who understand this brand, maybe you can take any other brand as well. Again, if you can take Pizza Hut, or when we are insisting for a particular thing, for a particular brand, assume that and understand what I'm trying to tell you. Value equity, customers assessment based on their offer, price, and convenience. So I assume that when these three factors are met, I assess the particular brand based on what they are offering, how much they are pricing, and how much it is convenient for me to go for it. So when these things are fulfilled, when this assessment is favorable, positive, that brand is actually giving me this value equity. I'm happy with what McD offers me. I'm happy with their burger, their prices, and the location. Maybe through Swiggy also, or just what the neighborhood may nowadays the McDs are present. So it is quite convenient for me if at all I have to go out and get. So based on the factors, this is how I assess a product, and then I come up with its value equity. We use this term brand equity. There is um, इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स की वेडनेसडे की सप्लीमेंट होती है in terms of by the name brand equity. So what it is? Brand equity, it is customer subjective. For me it means different, for you it can mean different. So it is uh, exactly as per the customer's wishes, customer subjective, and it is an intangible assessment of brand which is above and beyond its objectively perceived value. So there is an intangible assessment. I cannot tell you, suppose, if I have to if I have to become a loyal customer of, suppose, HP, I have some intangible, let's say, affection towards HP, which cannot be told or which cannot be seen by you. जैसे कि I cannot put it on paper. Suppose I simply like the way the executives are dealing with their customers. I simply like the way they are well educated, they behave properly, they are well mannered, and maybe they speak the language fluently, they know the regional language as well. So perfect training is being given to these salespeople. I just love the way they talk. It is an intangible assessment. Product training they have been given, but the way they interact, the way they are supposed to talk to their clients, it is just amazing. I simply like that. So that can be something called as my brand equity towards, my equity towards, let's say HP as a brand. It is customer subjective. Perspective can be different from customer to customer. And then there is called as relationship equity. What makes a customer stay back with the preferred brand rather than shifting to any other? So what makes a customer stay back to the preferred brand? Maybe in case of HP, it is the quality, or let's say it is the salespeople who are interacting with me, the kind of services they offer when I have some issues. This makes me stay back to HP. So whenever next time I think of uh, buying a laptop, or maybe next time if I have to refer somebody, I'll refer it to HP, and prefer HP over the other players in the market. Then something called as customer retention. Now acquisition is over. Now we have done with acquisition. Hmm? uh, Very important elements of CRM that you need to acquire and you need to retain. Now, both these terminologies or both these phenomena have got their plus and minuses. Usually, ना, अभी हम लोग आ रहे हैं उस तरफ ना, if you see this second point, the point makes it clear that businesses are usually spending 6 times more to acquire new customers than to keep them. So acquisition is a costly affair, is what we can say. Now, if you read this number is, it differs. It is like 6 times. Some people say it as 5 times. Some say 7 times, 8 times. So whatever that number is, what we have to remember here is that basically acquisition is a costly affair compared to retention. So what is happening? When I have to acquire, I am spending more, but retention is a simpler way. So that is why nowadays many firms are paying more attention to their relationship with existing customers. Very logical. I have, let's say, 10 such customers. Imagine a salon. Hmm. Now these salon have 10 such customers who are their loyal customers, who on a regular basis visit it and get the services done for themselves. Now, when I have to increase this base, now why I'm increasing base? Again, simply to make money. Now, when somebody, if I have to contact, if I have to talk, if I have to make him come and visit my salon and get the services done, I have to put in really lot of efforts and money, because the options are available. That is what we are talking about, why CRM is important. As customers, the options are available. The salon are again flourishing like anything. Simply if you take an area, there would be some 8 to 10 such salon services, or parlor services which are available. So out of them, which one I have to choose as customer? I have got lots of options, but then options are limited to the service providers. So when they are in the process of acquiring new customers, they have to make the offer so lucrative that customer will come to them. And in the process of making it lucrative, I'm spending, as I said, money which is 6 to 7, 5 to 8 times more than what I spend on retaining. So जितना मिलेगा उससे ज़्यादा I have to put in to get these customers. So what is beneficial? Those who are with me, those who are doing business with me, I can uh, nurture this relationship. I can work out on this relationship. Then also I can earn more money. जो कि ऑलरेडी कस्टमर्स हैं, उनको कुछ डिस्काउंट देके, उनके लिए कुछ स्पेशल पैकेजेस बना के बेचना is easier than selling it to a new person. And that is why this retention is also important. it is more profitable for me to acquire. So what this retention is, it is the approach of converting casual customers into a committed, loyal customer. Casual customer who is on board, एक बार दो बार he has done business with you. So in retention, what I do, I try to convert this casual customer into a loyal or a committed customer who will do business more frequently with me. So the efforts which I put in to convert this casual customer into a loyal and a committed customer, I am actually practicing the retention tactics. I am following customer retention approach. As I said, on an average, businesses are spending 5 to 8 times more to acquire new customers than to keep them. So retaining is easier than acquiring new one. Therefore, many firms are now paying more attention to their relationship with existing customers to retain them and increase their share of customers' purchase. Uh, for example, bank has some 1000 customers. Imaginary condition. Bank has these 1000 customers. They all have their salary account with bank XYZ. Now, since I have salary account, uh, maybe I have to take out vehicle loan. The companies ask me in which account, in which bank you have your account. I say, let's say bank XYZ. So these loan providing companies say, oh, great, we have tie-up with that bank. So your processing will be faster. Since you are that bank's customer, you don't have to give us proofs that we'll anyways collect from bank. So the process which probably would have taken 10 days time, for example, just because I am that bank's customer, it just took 2 working days and my loan got approved and I got the delivery on third day itself. Makes sense? Now, this is because I am that particular bank's customer. Now, understand from bank's perspective, it is easy for that bank to cross-sell their products than acquiring a new one. If I have to acquire new one, maybe I have to call. First of all, I have to find कौन मेरे customers बन सकते हैं. A person who is 16, 17 year old, who is still, in his 10th or 12th grade, who is not earning, even though he opens an account, entirely it will be run by his father's money, so he won't be able to do much of anything with that account. So such customers are of no use. The one who are working, they already are having some of the account, their account with some other banks. So I now have to tell them how I am good than your current bank. उसके लिए मुझे बहुत efforts डालने होते हैं. That is why acquisition is costly. So the same example of bank जहाँ पे मेरा loan approve हुआ है. Now I have a double relationship. I have salary account and I have my vehicle loan account also, which is going simultaneously. Now third product which bank is telling me to get is their own credit card, so that मेरे loan के installments हैं. If at all I have no money, maybe one installment that can be paid through my credit card. So again, I opt for their credit card. So now I have this relationship in 3 ways with that bank. 1 year or 2 year, let's say at the end of 1 year, the bank now tells me that the insurance which you opted, vehicle insurance, now it is expiring. One was complimentary from that uh, company. Now you have to take, so why not opt for our vehicle? Again, you will save on your time, because being our customer, you don't have to submit a proof. The executive will visit your place. He will only do the needful. You don't have to worry about anything. Now I have started fourth kind of relationship. So the same bank is, earning in this way more money from me. Otherwise, it would have gone to 4 different places. So this is why retention is important, and this is how uh, it is easier for companies to do more and more business with those retained one than acquiring one. Now, mind you, these activities are also not simple, but then chances are more that the retained customers will give me more money and I will save on the money which I put in acquiring these. Successful customer retention starts with first contact an organization has with customer. And so this is what we exactly saw. It starts this retention starts with the contact the organization has with the customer. So हमारे एग्जाम्पल में कॉन्टैक्ट क्या था द कस्टमर्स सैलरी अकाउंट एंड इट कंटिन्यूज थ्रू आउट द एंटायर लाइफ टाइम ऑफ द रिलेशनशिप अभी एक सैलरी अकाउंट हो गया व्हीकल लोन भी मैंने ले लिया है आई हैव क्रेडिट कार्ड ऑल्सो आई हैव टेकन व्हीकल इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी ऑल्सो मे बी फिफ्थ वुड बी द लाइफ इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी given by the bank then I can opt for SIP और म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्ट करती हूँ then I have SIP I have a demat account also so it can take numerous such forms and this is how it becomes a lifetime kind of relationship. The company's ability to attract and retain new customers is not only related to its products or services, but it is strongly related to the way it services its existing customers and reputation it creates within and across market space. So, what this point is telling us is it is not only what we have to offer to our customers which will attract or retain the customers. So सिर्फ प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस से कोई अट्रैक्ट या रिटेन नहीं होता. It is strongly related to the way it services the customers. So it is exactly how you perform or how you interact with your customers and what reputation you have in the marketplace. So goodwill or the brand reputation and you the way you interact also matters in terms of attracting and retaining. Economics of retention. Now, this is talking about uh, when we have to retain our customers, how the processes or at what factors we have to put in lots of attention. So this customer retention is based on or it has these four angles to study. Increasing purchases as tenure grows, lower customer management costs uh, over a period of time, customer reference, and something called as premium prices. So customer retention is based on these factors. Now, how increasing purchases as tenure grows? Now, what happens over a period of time? The customers do more business with those who have proven their relationship. In the beginning, when you come on board with that company, you are little skeptical about how the company's services are, how they will treat me as a customer. Slowly and steadily, you build this relationship. Same example का बैंक बैंक का एग्जाम्पल अगर हम लेते हैं so you had salary account because the company where you are working had tie up with that bank so it was inevitable for you to open account with that bank simply this is how the relationship started. Your requirements were limited in the beginning. Since it was your first organization, first job which you began with. So you used to work and you used to earn salary. So no other liabilities were there on your head. Slowly and steadily, your requirements started growing. You felt the need of purchasing a vehicle for you. Slowly and steadily, you understood that it is important to have, you know, investments into other options as well. So, along with FDs, you felt that why not to invest into mutual fund, why not do its SIP? So as slowly and steadily your requirements grew. But the bank gave you good service, Whenever you used to interact, they treated you nicely, they gave you complete information, so you were quite satisfied, and that is why you thought of taking this relationship to a next step, meaning you started increasing the purchases as the tenure grew. Slowly and steadily, you felt different needs, and just because the supplier, the bank here, or in this case, the bank, uh, you had a good relations with the persons, so you thought of doing business more and more with the same entity. So as the tenure grows, usually when we are thinking of retention, see to it that as the tenure grows, people are increasing their purchases or not. If no, then if some of them are doing, some of them are not doing it to the way they should have done, then you can think of coming up with some different retention measures. That is why we are learning these economics, these philosophies. Lower customer management costs over time. Relationship startup costs to acquire can be higher. That is what we have seen, that acquisition costs are higher. Now you have to acquire, you have to see to it that the customer stays with you. You have to उसको बोर्ड पे लाने के लिए, या जो prospective customers को your confirm customers बनाने के लिए, you have to put in lots of costs. And along with cost, it may take several years as well. Suppose I have to buy a property, maybe मुझे घर लेना है, या if I have to simply purchase a piece of land. You imagine a company who you contacted. You just got the information, and you just stopped thinking about what to do further. Yeah, you were in the process of inquiring the other companies, getting more information, maybe some uh, informal ways are there. So you are just trying. But then for a company, your single call uh, makes them think that this can be our prospective customers. So they send you some, periodical communications, timely communications, maybe happy birthday, happy marriage anniversary wish kar dete, maybe some Akshay Tritiya is coming, so it is prosperous day is there. Why not purchase, on this day? So some just such communication happens from their side, and it really takes years time. अगर मुझे land खरीदी करना है, या if I have to purchase property, even though I have money, but then आज मन ने सोचा and tomorrow I purchase. At least for us, it doesn't happen. We do lots of studies, we do lots of field work in it, and then we make the decision. So this क्या बोलते हैं, relationship startup cost or acquisition cost, as it is, it's a costly thing, and it runs into years time. It take up to 5 or 6 years, we can say, to actually make that prospective customer into a customer. Loyal भी नहीं बोलना, only prospective होने वाला customer को we have made our customer. Statistics बताते हैं, I'll just read it out. It takes 6 years to recover this cost of winning new retail bank customer. Retail bank customer like you and me. So it takes 6 years to recover the cost which we are putting in to acquire. मतलब एक customer तो बन गया, बट इसके पीछे जो हमने पैसा लगाया था, the cost which we put in, it takes around 6 years time to recover. In business to business scenario, B2B scenario में ongoing maintenance costs are lower than the winning cost. What happens in case of this is something else we are discussing about these lower management costs. In business to business scenario में these maintenance costs are lower than the winning cost. Such relationship maintenance costs are reduced as customers become close. Now the customer is on board. So whatever costs I'm putting, maybe I'm sending him some communication, maybe I'm sending him some free samples, or maybe I'm giving him some information. So whatever cost I'm putting in, these are called as ongoing maintenance cost. Those are lower than the winning cost in business to business scenario. Winning cost के लिए I have to put in lots of cost, and these maintenance costs are nothing but our retention cost. So in business to business scenario also, it is true that retention costs or maintenance costs are lesser than winning or acquiring, and these costs get lowered over a period of time because the customer is now doing business with you. So you don't have to put in lots of cost in terms of informing or in terms of converting him into your customer. That phase has now gone. So you just have to send him routine communication, uh, whatever. If he does transaction, whatever discount or any offer which is there for it, that is what only you have to now offer. So retention में ऐसा हो जाता है that slowly and steadily this managing these customers, those costs are those costs are lowered over a period of time because he is your regular customer, he is doing business with you. So you don't have to put in lots of money to acquire him, he is already your customer. Customer reference. Now you are referring somebody, you are referring somebody to become customer of a company. So these customer reference, customers who do purchases to a preferred company or supplier are more satisfied than the ones who don't. Suppose if I enjoyed shopping at Shoppers Stop, I simply loved their collection. I also enjoyed the atmosphere, the store layout, the kind of staff who was who with their helping nature and without any complaints, showed me whatever I wanted to, and it was just a good experience shopping at Shoppers Stop. So now I refer it to someone that if next time you have to go, please visit Shoppers once because they really have a good collection. So this is what customer reference is. Now again, what statistics is showing here that uh, in case of online clothing purchase, when I'm purchasing these garments or apparels online, when I purchase myself once, and after the experience, I tell it to three persons. We are talking about reference. So when I as a customer, when I shop once, after my shopping, I refer the same service provider to three people. This happens in case of online apparel purchase. Now, after my 10th purchase, मैं अगर लगातार 10 बार I purchase from particular online website, apparels from a particular online website, online supplier, I refer it to 7 people. So एक बार shopping के बाद I tell it to 3 people. After my 10th term, I tell it to 7 more people. In case of consumer electronic goods के purchases में, when I purchase it once, I tell it to 4 people. Now, we are not talking about online thing here. Normally, if we visit a shop and I purchase something and I enjoy it, what studies reveal that this one-time purchase of mine will be communicated to 4 people. मतलब मैं 4 लोगों को रेफर करती हूँ. अगर ये लेना है ना तो ये वाला स्टोर विजिट करना, like that. So I tell it to 4 people, and after 10th of my purchase, I tell it to 13 people. So this is what is the power of reference, customer reference. And now when will I refer a service provider to someone? When I am their customer and I am their satisfied or a happy customer. So that is what the power of retention is, that it results into so many number of referrals. last point to discuss, premium prices are the fourth point in customer retention. Satisfied customers don't mind paying higher prices as they get sense of value from more than the prices alone. If I'm a happy customer, if I'm a satisfied customer, I don't mind paying towards a little higher side, because I'm not price sensitive in case of the uh, the supplier here, because I am anyways happy with the way they are serving their customers. So these premium prices is something customer retention quite important part is. So you can have a little bit price increased for your loyal customers because they don't mind paying. They are anyways happy with the way you are serving. A few part of customer retention which is pending, which will be covered in tomorrow's session. We'll meet at the same time. Anything you have to ask me, you can always contact me. So this is all for today's session. We are ending. We are stopping here. Have a good day and nice to have interaction with you all. See you tomorrow.